Well,
it wasn't Boldness in the Future that was. Okay. Sorry, I thought it was Roy who was posted that, but it was Scooter.
We've never been threatened because I've disabled comments to this channel. You can't make a comment.
Oh,
excellent. I just avoided the whole problem.
Yeah.
But I think that limits our viewership. Hey, welcome to A Bold and Distant Future. This is Roy here. We're strategizing how to grow this channel. If anyone has any ideas, send them to the Instagram page, Bold and Distant Future, or Facebook, and reach out. Let us know. How are you doing out there? Is everyone surviving this last, again, another, I would say, somewhat dark week? All the Epstein file revelations have been quite disturbing.
I don't suppose you heard a little of Jimmy Kimmel's rap about it last night.
I did hear him talk about that. It was funny.
I was just laughing out loud.
Yeah, he's going.
He pretty much nailed it on the head, too. The same thing. Just because we heard Trump's name in the files a million times doesn't mean there's any wrongdoing. Whatever he said, it was like that. You know, I was like, oh, my God, go for it, Jimmy.
Yeah, and just because it can't be proven by law, by trial, they're just allegations and therefore are irrelevant. But when you have a million allegations pointing to the same behavior,
Well, we're all upset, but one way to show our displeasure is to get out on the streets. I think it's the best thing we can do. March 28th is the next big No Kings 3 march. Go out there. It's going to be a nationwide.
Yeah, I was just looking last night to see where it's going to be this time in our area, and was shocked to see it's going to be in the middle of downtown.
Oh, well, go to everyone. Doesn't matter if you go to the big city, the small town. In my view, you just need to get out there and bring a friend.
Yeah.
Bring people. Encourage your friends to go. Go, go, go.
Wear a dinosaur suit.
Do it. Get out there. Make it fun.
Dance with your sign.
I agree. Make it fun. We don't want to make it scary. Hey, this movie hit the PBS screen last week. It's called The Librarians. It wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be, because it seemed kind of like I'd heard of it all before. But they mentioned this group in it called the Moms for Liberty, and they're the group that is organized.
Moms for Liberty's doing some good stuff, I'm going to say.
Are they?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
They were on. Here's the one thing I know that they were doing that I totally approve of. They were campaigning against the use of Roundup. I think. Oh no, it's not Moms for Liberty. I take it back. It's Moms Across America.
Great. That's good to know. Moms for Liberty are an organized group nationwide across the country that are activists against libraries, basically.
Oh my God.
Oh, Jesus.
And these
can't be the same group.
They look like, the nice lady who lives next door with the dog and the Volvo. They look like nice people. But, man, when you start hearing them speak at these town halls and different, city council meetings, school council board meetings.
Oh, those are those professional agitators. That's obviously a professional sign. As a matter of fact, when the president goes out, he's going to want to get some signs from the people that make those ones.
That's right.
I don't know if you heard that comment.
Yeah, Trump doesn't like the prefab signs.
These are Karens in waiting, aren't they? Young Karens. You couldn't be whiter than that.
Well, in the administration's never-ending attempt to just rewrite history, because the Stonewall, I guess it's a bar or venue, is considered a national park designated place, they've torn down all the pride flags off of it. Crazy.
And they were re-raised by a group last night.
Well, I'm sure those people aren't going to let this happen.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah, it's gonna continue. But it's just this kind of rewriting of history. And I don't know if I think last time there was a slavery exhibition in Philadelphia that was all the plaques were taken down.
Yeah, and removed. Yeah. Currently there were 7 plaques around the. What's that called? Oh, the Liberty Bell exhibit. That's outside in Philadelphia. No, it's not outside, but it's in a mall, a public mall, open air public mall, and that's where it started. But I don't know about the most recent exhibit.
It's just this rewriting of history is so
Yeah.
troubling. Libraries and, basic
Yeah.
common understanding that we've had are,
And
Only,
it is. Yeah.
only the woke leftist suckers have had the understanding.
Yeah.
you're right. Oh. Well, this is happening.
Maybe it was just the people that were part of the blue wave.
Callback. I love the callback. Well, this is happening in
Oh, I love this.
Minneapolis. People are driving around with
Yeah.
Mexican flags on their trucks just to, occupy the time of ICE agents. I think that's a great idea.
And they
It's a
call it ice
fabulous
fishing.
idea.
Yeah. Ice fishing.
With a truck like that, how many hay bales do you think you could haul?
Oh, no.
Eddie, you and your hay bales, they're going to get us in trouble. We're worried about. We need an intervention. You need to watch Gandhi tonight, Eddie, to recalibrate your peacefulness.
Hey, you know what? Gandhi marched down to the sea with a mob and made salt. Totally illegal at the time.
That's
Yeah.
true. All right.
Nutritious, but not violent. So,
Hay's nutritious too. I use it in my garden all the time.
well, there you go.
And you could use it to redirect traffic.
You know, I saw a news clip this morning, really powerful. I've forgotten his name already, but he's a white, he's an Irish man married to a white American citizen. And he overstayed his visa. So he was captured by ICE, kidnapped by ICE, and put in a detention center. And he's now reporting out about the horrific conditions that he encountered and experienced. So I don't know if they smuggled out the message or he's been released, but it's pretty damning again because now it's not a member of the persons of color immigrant community. It's one of our ancestors.
Yeah, I think I saw that fellow's YouTube or whatever it was, maybe his TikTok or Instagram
Yeah.
post.
Yeah.
Well, Bad Bunny hit the Super Bowl and it caused a lot of commotion. It got so political. Did anyone watch the Bad Bunny
I did. Yes.
musical
Well, I
number?
didn't watch the Super Bowl. I decided to look up the halftime show afterwards on YouTube. Fabulous show.
It
yeah.
was fabulous. Yeah.
It was quite an amazing feat of theatrical engineering, just to get all the stage props and things out there in time. But then his message came through, and it was very cleverly choreographed and staged and costumed. And he
Yeah.
brought in, I could go into all the details, but he brought in so many things that were Puerto Rican centric that showed his pride for Puerto Rico, which is a part of America, by the way. But
That's
Man.
what's hilarious. Most of the politicians that are going on and on about it didn't know that Puerto Rico was part
Yeah.
of America.
Even part of our country. Yeah.
I'm just like shaking my head going, man, oh man, you guys, go back to school.
Yeah.
Well, Green Day opened the Super Bowl with 3 or 4 songs, and one lyric was cut out. He didn't say anything directly against MAGA or Trump, but there was one line about, I think it was "Mind Fuck America" or something. There's a line in one of his thing, media corporations and mind fuck America. That got edited out.
Wow.
But I think it was pretty bold to put Green Day up there, which
Yeah.
is, I salute the people who made that choice.
One of the things that was quite disturbing to find out afterwards is that underneath that beautiful white jacket Bad Bunny was wearing, he had a bulletproof vest. And one of the reasons that his section of the performance was shortened was because they feared that somebody might take shots at him.
Wow.
And also the choreography, so he was moving so much.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
All of that just kind of blew my mind when I heard that.
It seemed to me that the crowd in the stadium liked the show, and I didn't hear any booing. And then Trump made his typical condemnation of the Super Bowl.
And was there an alternative music performance that people could tune into if they so disregarded the NFL?
There was, and I've got a couple of pictures from it
Oh,
coming
good.
up.
Right.
Yeah, it was a show. Now, I heard it was actually pre-recorded. It wasn't live. It was pre-recorded. Here it is. It's the All-American Halftime Show with Kid Rock and 3 other artists I've never heard of. Brantley Gilbert, Lee Bryce, and Gabby Barrett.
Yeah.
And
I know the name Lee Bryce because he wrote that one song that gets played repeatedly by Maggot and Company. Wow.
But they had low viewership. But
Good.
many people, I think, they say around 3 million people tuned in. Was it 3 million or 3%? Or I forgot the numbers. It was 3% of the Super Bowl viewers switched over and watched.
Yeah,
I
and
forgot what the numbers were.
and then these lyrics are allowed. So we have freedom of speech in certain areas, right? Certain audiences are allowed and others not.
Well, and the other thing that's interesting is listening to the news channels that support this insanity, complaining about, oh, we can't understand the language. And I'm thinking, and it's never happened before. And I'm thinking, really?
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe it's never happened because you haven't been paying attention.
right.
I almost want to say, hey, did you grow up watching I Love Lucy?
I mean, I heard someone say there are about 40 million Latin people living in the United States of America. It's a big percentage of people, and to recognize them with, an artist like Bad Bunny, who is so big now. He's huge,
I love that powerful yet simple statement where he names all the countries in the slide that you brought up, and reminding us that the concept of America is universally the Western Hemisphere, not just a single nation, a single white nation. We are the America as part of it, not separate from.
Yeah, and we bring the pride of our home countries and our
Yeah,
historical lineage with us when we come to America.
yeah,
We don't
And we're
scrub
the
it
stronger
off
nation.
and say,
Yeah.
okay, now I'm American, forget the rest of that. No, we bring it along.
yeah.
And that's what makes us a great country, I think.
Agreed. And again, it's an additive process. Just because you add more people doesn't mean you're subtracting away from all of our other aspects of history. No, it's cumulative. You just keep adding. That's what immigration is.
The thing that is staggering to think about is how culturally well accepted different foods are.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, what would we be eating?
Yeah.
Bear fat and bison?
Yeah.
You know,
A family member visited Maine, and she was surprised about the type of food. And she says, yeah, it's white people food. I love the comment because it spoke so much to the narrowness of that white part of our culture. It's not a single experience that is being lessened because we have all these other contributors to it. No, we're greater as a result of all of the contributions.
well, this news story was Cause for Hope from the
Yeah.
Democracy Docket. I think maybe you had sent me this, Craig. But the federal courts seem to have blocked Trump's trying to control states' elections.
Yeah,
Which
that's
was-
really great.
Which is good news. So this is cause for hope, and I'm hoping
Yeah.
that the courts can continue to rule against his overreaches.
You know, it'd be a wonderful thing to see is a judicial scorecard, if you will. So how many of Trump's executive orders or other actions have been challenged, if not overturned or stopped or halted by the courts? And so we have a running list of all the things that have been corrected already, even though that might not be widely known.
That would be a
I think
great.
we could probably
great thing.
ask AI to do that.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, that's something to do. I would definitely like to see a little graph on that. If you go to the whitehouse.gov website and look at the executive orders, it is a long list. It's like they
Yeah.
churn them out like a few a week, it seems like.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
That would be an interesting list, too, to see how many executive orders different presidents have issued.
Hmm.
I'm sure Trump's at the top. Well, he did this horrible thing. Donald Trump, our president, put out this racist video showing Barack and Michelle Obama as apes in a video, and then Carolyn Levitt tries to make excuses for it. It was just so horrible.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, there are no apes in that film. Yeah.
But how do you combat this when it's coming from the president's office? You know, it's just you can't even. You know, I just shake my head and I don't know. You kind of give up. You know. Two Epstein-related things. One is Katie Johnson. Most of us probably know about this, but go and look at the Katie Johnson court case that was filed against Donald Trump, which is this is in the Epstein files, but you can find it almost anywhere.
Wow.
But it is a horrible, horrible story. And again, the key thing is that Trump has never sued her for defamation of character. I guess what does that say? That says that, yeah, this happened. He's afraid to go there.
Yeah, because of the discovery that would take place. And that's so interesting. Yeah, he sues everyone. That's his initial, his knee-jerk response to any action. And so that speaks volumes.
And then this is another very dark Epstein story, but apparently he bought 330 gallons, Jeffrey Epstein did, of sulfuric acid. And it was the day the FBI opened his rape probe against him. And so they're saying what was he doing with all that sulfuric acid? Was he destroying evidence, human remains, or,
Wow, that's interesting.
But this came out in the Epstein files, too. There's so much dark stuff in that realm. I don't look at it too closely, but lately, I guess we all know all the senators have been granted permission to look at the unredacted files and to watch some of their responses after viewing these unredacted files is pretty telling. I don't know if they reveal anything directly, but just to hear what the emotional toll it takes just to look at these unredacted files is pretty horrible.
And that the word redaction is so important to us now, because who has the authority to redact, and do the courts have any authority to remove the redactions?
Yeah, it's all kind of, I don't know if it's not a gray area. It should be kind of black and white, but they're just playing by their own set of rules,
And we're just catching up. Yeah.
Yeah. But then, I guess, why didn't Biden release all this stuff? And everyone goes back to Merrick Garland. Why didn't he prosecute some of this stuff? But maybe he didn't want to because it would have been coming from a Democratic, White House.
It would have been a hoax and the witch hunt trope reappearing. I don't know.
It seems like the public will not, sit down on this one. They're just
the other thing is, I believe their belief is that things will fall apart if these people are, the list of this horrifying goings-on at the island are released, that our world would fall apart.
I just am so curious. I want to fast forward ahead and see how this is going to play out. I just don't know how it's going to play out. Well, J.D. Vance was at the Winter Olympics and was booed on many different occasions at different venues and settings. And I guess it is he that's being abused, but it's America they're booing, because when they see the American athletes come out, they're booing. Not good PR.
It just strengthens our position as well. So all these resistance elements are they're mounting layer by layer now.
But I have seen some little clips of the different athletes themselves speaking at different press conferences, and they're like the voice of reason, in some cases, the ones that I've heard. Have you guys been watching the Winter Olympics at all?
Yes, just elements of it in the evening, highlights or summaries.
Yeah, I do the same thing on YouTube, just to keep track of what's going on.
Yeah, I've watched a few skating routines.
I love watching the skating.
Yeah.
And then the insanity of the downhill race. I'm just like, how do you go that fast and keep yourself together?
Yeah. Those guys are adrenaline junkies or something. I don't know. But it's pretty fearless to throw yourself down a hill like that on ice. Well, the last portion of the show, but we can talk about Pam Bondi after this, is some movie recommendations. And one of them's on YouTube, I think, and one of them is on Canopy, which is the free platform that you can get through your library. I think that's how you get it. Maybe it's just a free app, but Canopy is a good one.
Yeah, it's through your library. It's Kanopy.
Yeah. And one of the movies is an older movie from 1943, directed by Fritz Lang.
Oh, yeah.
And it talks about, we'll see, I put the poster up here, but it's a film that's set in Prague during World War II and the Nazi-occupied Prague. And it's a very interesting film. Let's see if it comes up here. Here, it's called Hangmen Also Die.
Oh, interesting.
Kind of a cheesy title, but Fritz Lang directed. I think Bertolt Brecht had something to do with the story. And it just depicts the most paranoid kind of future living under fascist rule, Nazi-occupied Prague, and what average citizens have to do in order to survive and in a way show resistance against the fascists in their city, you know. I think it's a really great film. I'd never seen it before. Worth watching. Walter Brennan is in it. A younger Walter Brennan.
Good recommendation.
Yeah, it's easy to watch, but very instructive, dark, visions of sort of like, fascist abuse and torture and accusations and stuff. Very interesting movie. And this is the other movie that's out there. I think I saw it on Canopy as well. It's a German film. I don't know if it's a great movie, but it's certainly instructive. It goes by the name Goebbels and Hitler, I think it goes by, but the original title was Führer und Wehrführer, and it's really a story about Joseph Goebbels and his relationship with Hitler, but it's more centered on Goebbels. Am I pronouncing his name right? How do you say that, his name? Goebbels?
Don't know.
I don't know. Anyhow, very interesting, but it's very powerful. They mix a lot of reenacted footage with real footage, so there are some pretty graphic real footage of concentration camps and other kind of killings and things, and so it's a bit graphic.
There's plenty of that out there. My believe it or not, I can't even remember how old I was, but I can tell you I was very young. My dad took me to see Mein Kampf.
Oh, wow.
Which it was, visual. He wanted to impress upon me, I guess, what he had gone through in the war. And that kind of stuff that's out there is basically being forgotten by much of the American public that's not of a certain advanced age.
Good point. I had a similar experience in high school in an elective history class. We saw the film Night and Fog, the French film documentary, in its entirety. And it's critically important that everyone knows those images.
But apparently this film is very historically accurate, and a lot of the dialogue is based on real things that were said by the characters that are portrayed. It's an interesting look. It's again, I wouldn't give it an A+. I would maybe give it a B, maybe a B+. It's well filmed and well acted, but it's a little bit hard to engage with. But for historical landscape, if you don't know the whole landscape of those characters in the Third Reich at that time, it is very instructive.
No, I'd like to see that then,
Yeah.
and see the parallels with immediately Stephen Miller and so many other names pop up.
Well, yeah, Stephen. It's like a Stephen Miller Donald Trump relationship that's portrayed,
Yeah.
and it's almost like I get the feeling that Donald Trump and Stephen Miller are living out this Nazi fantasy camp kind of impulse. You know, It's-
Knowingly or unknowingly, yeah.
yeah. It's really, really kind of telling that way.
If I may, another thing that this rekindles in my mind is, who are ICE and who were the Gestapo? And I really appreciate when people are talking about, whether it's Saturday Night Live or news broadcast or historical analyst, about the type of person who was hired to become an ICE agent. Angry white or unhappy with the lack of success in their life or their careers, and internalized motivation to seek revenge. Because that helps me understand that's what the Gestapo was. Now, the leadership might have had a vision and a philosophy about it, but a lot of the soldiers who likely were Gestapo, action, the people who took action in the Gestapo were likely the same kind of mindset and disappointed, disenfranchised people like we're seeing in ICE.
And I don't know if this was choreographed by the administration, but when they released the names of the two guys in ICE that shot Alex Preety, they were both Hispanic names. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, I did.
I was immediately wondering if that was choreographed by the admin, or if that is actually, if that was actually how it happened.
That's a really good question. I mean, it would make sense that they would say, "Yep, look at these violent Latins again. They're the ones doing the killing."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go. Another form of scapegoatism.
Yeah. But I think what you're saying about the psychology profile of people who are attracted to work for the Gestapo or ICE is a very interesting topic, and I've been wanting to poke fun at it, but have been wanting to go through some of those pages where they dox ICE agents and get photographs, but look at their photographs, but do a fashion critique of their clothing, the shoes they wear, because sometimes they don't wear, the jack boots or the military boots. They wear like tennis shoes or, jeans or different kinds of jackets. But once they get them all dressed up in their ICE attire, this militaristic, uniform, then they're scarier. It's like they look like a, horrible unified threat. But when they look like a bunch of bozos who just happen to put on a tactical vest and a mask, then you kind of see through their, the facade,
The other thing to consider, though, and I'm thinking of that episode in South Park where I don't know any of the guys' names. The guy gets fired from his job and he sees an ad for ICE and he goes to do it because they're offering really decent money, And I wonder, again, if the bottom of our economic pyramid is where many of these people are being drawn from, because there's not many qualifications and the pay is pretty damn good.
Very good point.
And they give you a gun and you feel powerful. It plays into the money, the economic aspect, but I think it also has a power thing. I don't think it's strictly political. Like, I feel like I'm drawn to this for some noble cause.
Yeah.
But there may be some of those as well. But I think you're right. It's probably a multi-layered attraction.
Yeah. And speaking that, I don't know if you know or heard about the incident in the ICE actions in Idaho, where there was a horse racing or horse betting event. 500 people attended, and 375 were citizens. So children and adults were zip tied. But one report was from the 14-year-old girl and her mother, showing the bruises on her wrist. And the mother said, tried to interact or defend her child as she was being zip tied. And the ICE officer said to her, "I'll blow your fucking head off." So again, it just attests to the training, because law enforcement would, their first response wouldn't be that. They would know how to at least communicate regularly. I mean, there's already an excessive, reactionary, violent response that spit out of this guy's mouth. That's what's happening. There's no training. They're empowered with guns and inflated pride, false pride, and we're hearing more and more about that. So if we're hearing about it, boy, it's tip of the iceberg. It's just got to be thousands times worse.
Yeah, the entitlement, the sense that the president, Kristi Noem, they've all got our back. J.D. Vance, we've got immunity, even though he's backtracked on that statement. It's like they feel untouchable.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they are untouchable because they're wearing masks and they're doing whatever the hell they want. It's not a pretty picture that we find ourselves in.
No.
Sorry to end on such a dark note, but I think there's lots to talk about, lots to research, and I hope we can continue to, make sense of this in some way. It feels like things are falling apart, but man, they are still going to do some damage on the way down, I feel like,
Yeah. Right. Things are definitely falling apart. Trump has historically now the lowest non-approval rating of any president. But the worry is all the harm they've done and will continue to do and will escalate as they continue to fall. And the resistance is building, but it's a slow process.
Well, here's something to consider, and I'm not going to verify this, but it has been suggested by people that are paying attention to what Trump has been up to that he might not last, and then we get stuck with J.D. Vance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that would be a fitting end. I don't think J.D. Vance will be worse. He doesn't have the charisma. Cults need a strong figurehead, and very few cults survive once the head dude dies, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see J.D. Vance being a cult figurehead.
Good point. And the structures that they hope to have in place to sustain their fascism aren't strong enough, aren't institutionalized yet. And so senators and congressmen and others are going to be able to say no and not fear Vance as they did Trump.
One would hope. But
Yes.
The other side of that coin is that Vance would be easily manipulated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm thankful that your story, Eddie, didn't involve hay bales in any way or gasoline. So thank you for that. But Eddie, I appreciate your voice, and Craig, I appreciate your voice
as well.
Showing up around here and talking these things through. Thank you for anyone listening. My name's Roy. Thanks for listening to A Bold and Distant Future. Bye.
Adios, amigos.
See ya.
I'm going to sign off. Thank you.
Bye.